Good morning. Welcome to Sales Chatter. We aim to help 10,000 reps hit a million G. Ryan Mohammed. With me is the bodacious cowboy, RGTX Logistics Solutions, Jeff Dickinson. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good there, Ryan. Good morning on Chaos Tuesday. Just kidding here, but it seems like we've had a little bit of technical problems. We still have a little bit going on, but knowing us, we'll get through the day. So today we have a great guest, Cargo Margo, and let's get into it. Let's just start right off. Let's go.
Welcome to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
And there we go. That was interesting for sure. Is that I love sitting down with others. It's one of the best conversations that you can have, because usually when we're able to ask them, get questions for show, we get to put them in the spotlight a little bit. So, special guest, we have Margo Waldie at NFI, the host of the Cargo Margo. She's a big believer in helping businesses increase profitability and logistics. I've personally been on her show. I've ever been on myself, so we want to welcome. Thank you so much for coming on Sales Chat this morning.
Good morning, you guys. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. I feel like I'm in such a safe space with industry professionals like me, and I'm really honored to be able to share my journey and things that I'm working on with you and the audience.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, into it together, and understand what we're kind of aspect of it, because what we're talking about is empowering women into that we're looking on here. Margo, we've kind of gone into the purpose of like how that, but there was one question though that I couldn't wait to ask you. First question I'm going to ask you, and then we'll get into all this fun stuff. And then from there is that, what is your spirit animal?
How dare you, Ryan? This is such a powerful question for so many reasons. And when I think about my spirit animal, I think of who was, who is, and who is Margo going to become, right, in 5 to 10 years? Because there might be days where I'll say, Ryan, my spirit animal is a kitten. And then there might be days where I'm going to tell you, Ryan, it's an eagle. But I think for me, my spirit animal is a crab. And I'm going to say it's a crab because for me in my personal journey, I do have a hard outer shell, but I'm very soft inside. I love to communicate and collaborate with people, but I also have to work on those communication skills, fine-tune them. And so like a crab, I don't necessarily always walk forward. Sometimes I'll approach things, maybe from the left or the right. And so I would have to say that I'm a little bit of a crab.
So with that said, your personality changes every single morning based upon the emotion that you feel.
I'm not going to have to, go to therapy after this for multi-personality disorder, right? No, but I'm definitely moody. I am. I'm consistently moody, though. I think that if you were to ask people that have worked with me, for me, even in my personal life, what is Margo Waldie like? They would definitely say intense, spontaneous, moody, but consistently moody, right? I love to take risks. I love change. In fact, sometimes I have to sit back and realize that tried and true historical knowledge is really important and extremely useful.
Indeed.
But it's maybe part of that ADHD that the good Lord blessed me with. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I kind of have that too. I mean, I got like the OCD syndrome, everything has to be perfect and in place and everything like that. And every time I wake up in the morning, I wake up with a smile on my face because I'm like, I feel blessed that I woke up. I have many things to do today. Yesterday is gone, and tomorrow we don't know what it's going to bring, right? So you're here in the present. And, with women in the industry and the things that happen to them day in and day out, and this has been going on for many, many years. What are your suggestions for women coming into the industry? What you're doing, what you have done, what's worked for you, what hasn't worked for you. Where do we need to be, and how are we going to get there?
I love that question because there's layers to that, right? And when I reflect back on what has brought me here today, I have to say, and this is going to be overwhelming, but find your why, your purpose. That is going to be a catalyst that motivates you and gets you out of bed on those cloudy days, and be authentically you. And so that's a lot easier said than done, right? I'm almost 40. I'm still working on not really caring what other people think about me. But like I said, it's a journey. And so really owning who you are will help you find that why in a comfortable way. I think that we have expectations of ourselves, regardless of where they stem from. And to put those aside, think about why you're here on this earth. No one is here mistakenly. We all have a purpose, and to uncover it is so fulfilling and satisfying. And I think it brings clarity to a lot of the things that we're doing in life. But it all goes back to really being fulfilled and finding your why. And that could be a journey in itself too, because just, oh my gosh, I have no idea why I'm here and what I'm doing. And, don't freak out. Take a breath, because there's a journey inside that. But the reason I say that is because we're so focused on goals. And I can be like that too. I love nice things, anything shiny, the latest vehicle out there. You know what? I'm a sucker for marketing. I'm a sucker for lifestyle. But the reason I'm bringing that up and the analogy in that is that just like that, we could be like that with goals. So once we create these goals, we're checking off boxes. And after we check off those boxes, we still feel like something's missing because you're not focused maybe on your purpose, your why. You're focused on that goal, but instead reframe that to, who am I as I'm working to achieve this goal? And who am I going to be while I set the next one? Being present in that journey of achieving, of learning, and even failing, but reframing your mindset. This is opportunity. This is who I'm building myself to be.
That's very, very interesting that you said that. And this is the topic is empowering women into logistics. How do women find their why? Men have that confidence level, not to say that women don't, because I've worked with many, many highly intelligent women and hired it over my career.
But that's okay, right? And that's okay to say that, because it's true. And so if we're able to be real in these conversations, we can actually get something out of it. I have 3 daughters. My eldest, she's not confident. There's opportunity there. And that's okay. And so by realizing that, speaking it, putting out there that statement into the world, you can actually do something with it. So just, you guys, please feel free to ask me any questions that you think it might be hard to ask, the opposite sex here today, right? And I'm willing to answer from my perspective. I can't, of course, speak for all women, all professionals, all mothers. sisters and daughters, but, I'll do my best to authentically share, my experiences with you all.
Yeah, that's great to have that offer to help, our audience, because we have a lot of women that have watched this show, especially the empowerment of women into logistics from 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. We had great conversations, and it just seems that some of the questions that came up were repetitive, and it was the same problems that existed back then that still exist now. And I brought this statistic up where 1 in 4 women across all industries are in the C-level positions. And then there's 1 in 20 of women of color in those C-level positions. So you got 25% of all women, and you got 5% of women of color in those. What needs to be done? And I've asked this question over and over again because it's really important, because we need to level up. We really need to get to where we need to be. And what is your thoughts on that?
Be examples in our actions. I often say that your actions speak so loud, I cannot hear your words. And so I put out a clip in regards to Queen Bee syndrome. And often in a lot of industries, you will find women that may suffer from Queen Bee syndrome. So goes back to your purpose, your why, your self-awareness. Where am I in this game, right? Of diversity and inclusion. How can I make a difference with and for other people? And so there's groups to be involved in. I think having the openness, the open mind, offer to be a mentor for people that are emerging into the industry. You'll find every race, gender at, Cal State Long Beach here, right? When you're recruiting, are you being open-minded and, establishing a foundation where people can come on board and feel comfortable? Is your leadership a mix that people can relate to? And like I said, with the goals and checking boxes, diversity is not about checking boxes. It's a culture. It's how everyone feels and how they operate within that organization and within their life. It goes back to integrity as well. We're not just saying these things, we're doing these things, we're living these things. But I think most importantly, when I speak to my friends that are diverse, whether it's background or race, gender, they want to be heard and they want to share their stories. And then they want to see action, momentum. And so become involved in organizations that, and again, these organizations, when you see something within your organization, or you're creating something within your organization, include everybody, right? So I'm involved in a women in leadership group, and there's men on the team. We had to have men at some point help fight for us to have a platform to speak. Exactly. I'm speaking with you two on your platform. Thank you. So it's a collaborative effort. And I think just the main thing is try to be open-minded. Everyone's experience is completely different. You have no idea what it's like. I have no idea what it's like to be a Black man. And so I need to listen. I'll never know, but just listen and understand, and then make sure that your actions align with the support that people need to be included.
Yes, two big things that came out of that. One of my favorite words, collaboration. We're all humans, and we need to understand each other. And like the business that we're in, it's like we have to be psychologists. And when I say that, it's master of all different types of personalities, because you don't know what kind of personality you are going to run in. And you have to have that chameleon type skin where you can change colors pretty much on a dime to get on their level or wherever they are, so that they feel warm and fuzzy, that, hey, I got an ear, someone that's willing to listen to me. And I do feel, in this day and age, we still have that problem that we need that, but there's not enough of that around. And some people out there just refuse to listen, close their doors, and their ideas and the way they think are the way that they think. And there's no changes to that. What can be done outside of that? I mean, because it is a problem. It's a huge problem.
Being open-minded and having these conversations. So I think that when you look at yourself, we all need to look in the mirror and look at who are your friends, who are the family members you mingle with, who are the coworkers you mingle with, who's your doctor, who's your pediatrician for your children if you have children. Think about these things, and if everybody in your circle looks the same, right, there might be an issue as well. I think there's so many ways to look at it, but I think that's a huge indicator that maybe you need to make some changes in your life and have a more diverse circle. Because when I think about fear and the ultimate opportunity killer, it's being closed-minded and assuming that you understand another culture or gender completely, because we don't. And so I'm going to just always go back around to be open-minded, listen, share stories, put yourself in a situation that may be uncomfortable. Talk to people that are willing to talk about tough subjects. When it comes to gender, I could tell you that creating a workplace that's more inclusive for women, what does that look like? Well, women need to be honest with the things they need. There's a shift right now where a lot of women have put aside, growing their families and having children because they're so focused on their careers, and they're actually fearful. There's, people make decisions, whether it's fear-based or adventure-based, but if I put my career on hold for a minute, what is that going to look like? Am I going to be able to juggle that? And so having someone that can sit down and have these conversations with these women and let them know that there's options would make the world a difference. Because you can't have it all, but you definitely can be a professional working mother, and it could be very comfortable and very fulfilling. It just looks different for every woman. And I think if every woman had that knowledge or the ability, the access to that, it could make a huge change.
I agree. This is Carrier Week, and when we have guests from carriers, and I'm just curious, what is NFI doing to combat this type of problem? Because look, let's face it, it happens across all segments in every single industry, in every single business. What they think isn't in existence, it is, because people fail to talk and to bring that to other people's attention. What is NFI doing?
Great question. We have so many different groups that you can be involved in that focus on how to include and grow these organizations, these groups into our organization. I really feel that this is one of the most diverse companies I've ever worked for. And, we've been voted one of the best places to work for women. We have a group for young professionals. And so these groups have hundreds of cohorts in them. And every month there's different programs, incentives, activities, ways to get involved. And, we have a weekly newsletter that comes out, and part of that newsletter the other week had all these courses that we have access to for free to just grow our knowledge and education in this space, but also to network and collaborate with individuals. And so it's been, like I said, I'm in the women's group, and it's just been really great. And so I think that creating this is one thing, but then also making sure that people are involved. They're living it. It's something that's ongoing. It's not going to stop. This isn't, a monthly incentive. It's part of our culture. It's who we are.
Nice.
Have a culture like that. I do want to get to one of the questions are in our from our audience here, where it's right. Do you think hostile culture is right for you as a mom with homelessness?
That's a great question. So how are we defining hustle culture? I'm thinking hustle culture means nonstop. This is where you're working 24/7 until you have some type of financial establishment where you can maybe peel back a little bit. I'm thinking that's because I'm not really into this hustle culture. And so I work all the time. There isn't, I mean, weekends, late nights, early mornings, midday, but I also have a very flex schedule. Uh, I'm blessed that our CCO is a firm believer in working smarter, not harder. So my family doesn't suffer. The girls don't suffer. I'm able to take them to school when I need, pick them up when I need. And that also meant, though, being in an industry in a role that also allows that, right? So there's some roles that are not going to allow that flexibility. And that's how I've been able to give back to my family. But I don't believe in the hustle culture. You don't have to work 24/7 to be successful. I don't. I schedule things. Time management is huge. Being organized. It's overwhelming at times. I talked to my girls this morning and I said, I'm really excited. I'm going to be on this show and we're going to talk about me being a female and a professional and a mother in the industry. And the girls looked at me and I said, I'm going to say, don't do it, everybody. Don't do it. And they started laughing. And I said, just kidding. I'm going to say how perfect it is and how easy it is and how I never yell and I'm always happy. And they started laughing. It's somewhere in the middle. And there's days that, flex on either end, but time management, the company you work for, your family, your friends. It's a tribe.
It's a tribe, and that's just something that we always kind of believe in. And you're a podcaster, so I love that you love your. Tell everybody, how did you get into your podcast, from your podcast specifically, and
I think we lost him.
But I could definitely start talking about my podcast. It's interesting. I never thought I would have a podcast, a live show, and we were at a place that was, the pandemic was going on. I was in marketing. How are we going to get in front of our partners, our customers, future potential, partners? How do we do this? There's no trade shows, there's no traveling. Everything has been shut down. And so what better way to get out in front of everybody other than LinkedIn Live? And so that really got the ball rolling. It was difficult. It's still a journey. There's times where I think I need a break, but what I've received out of it, the DMs about how certain shows or a certain clip have changed their life, that's what keeps me going. Because for me, my why and my purpose is to build relationships and collaborate. And I love it. It's like, I'm here with you guys. This wouldn't have happened without that. And this is, what I love to do.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because it's like when Ryan and I started this months and months ago, kind of had that same feeling, like yourself, and starting something new and doing all this. Your company backs you up, right? Which is great.
Yeah, and every company should. The company is going to get so much out of someone having their own brand, the authenticity, the relationships that are built, the referrals I get from my show, the leads, the Cargo Margo when I'm walking through a trade show. It cracks me up. I love it. It's amazing. And so I often tell people, find a couple people within your company that, could really influence on social, and invest in them, help them out, because not everyone has a pocketbook to do this on their own. And I've said that before. And so, find your resources, try to see if there's a easy medium maybe, but companies should definitely be supporting their employees in this journey.
I agree. So let me ask you this. What's next for Margo Cargo? What do you see yourself in the next 2, 5, 10 years?
Ooh, this is a tough one. So I definitely want to continue to expand on the show. It's been life-changing for me to interview people from around the world and in similar and different industries. But I'm also really excited on focusing on my own sell here at NFI. I've been really successful in onboarding some great new partners, and it's been very exciting and life-changing for me to be able to sell all these different services. But I would also like to really build a team here as well. And so I'm excited to see that happen here at NFI. Hopefully, I'll have my own team and be able to mentor and share with the team things that I've gone through. And that would just be so exciting for me.
Awesome.
That is such spectacular. For all the technical difficulties, Rogers in Toronto doesn't want to work with us today. But with that being said, you wear the mom hat, you wear the podcast host hat, you wear the director of sales hat. What do you enjoy the most, that you get the most fulfillment from?
So it's different because being a mother, it has its similarities, but it has its differences. And so the type of fulfillment that I get from being here today or offering a solution to a potential partner is really exciting and makes me feel part of this world. Whereas being a mother humbles me and creates this sense of understanding and compassion for mankind. And so I need both of them, and they help me to be well-rounded, even though sometimes I feel like I can't do one or the other because there's always something going on, either professional or personal. But I would say both are very fulfilling in a different way, and I need both of them.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. So, Margo, to take the time out of your day to spend it with us. It's really intriguing to actually hear back all these answers. I've never heard you on our show and things like that. Let them know about yourself, how they can get a hold of you, how they can get your show.
Yeah, no, thank you guys so much for tuning in. There's so many great comments and questions, and I'll definitely go back and try to answer all of them. But definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. My cell phone and email are on there. I'm very accessible. Would love to collaborate and hear what you have going on. And again, thank you guys so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
We got to do this again. I know I've been on your episode. I know on your podcast, Jeff's gonna come on there. So I want to thank the audience for coming out this morning. I know we had a little bit of a late start, but it's all good. That's life. You got to roll with it. If you found value in this, which I know you did, please like, comment, share this with a neighbor. That's what I outside of our industry, but this is the topic: empowering women into logistics that anybody could relate to. And you said that, so I think that was one of the best things that I've heard today. We will hit the replay again at 2 and LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Tune in tomorrow. We got Data Day with Dean Crow, scientist, who gives us all those current freight market updates. And Cowboy, take us home, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan, and thank you so much, Margo Cargo or Cargo Margo, for coming on. I appreciate it. We had some technical difficulties. I apologize for that. We definitely want to have you back on when we clear things up. I appreciate your time, your insights. The audience does as well. I'm sure that they will reach out to you and connect with you to talk to you about this most important subject, about empowering women into logistics, because it is a very important subject, and we'll be talking about it for a while still. So thank you so much for coming on board. And with that said, enjoy your day. Bodacious Cowboy is out. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sales Chatter. Thank you.